1995 saw the second full season of the JGTC get underway at Suzuka, and there were a lot of new machines on display, not least the Castrol livery Toyota Supra of Team Toms, and the new Nissan Skyline R33 driven by Toshio Suzuki and Akira Ida. Team Taisan was back too, with its self-developed Ferrari F40s. The front of the grid was an all-Nissan affair, with the Unisia Czech Skyline of Masahiro Hasemi on pole, and the new Jomo Skyline alongside it. The formation lap got off to a bad start for the Toms Toyota though, which struggled to get going, though it did eventually get underway. A change for the 1995 season was the introduction of rolling starts. Hasemi got away very well from pole position in his older R32 Skyline, followed by the green R33 Skyline and Masahiko Kageyama in the Calsonic Skyline, another R32. Hasemi, the veteran, then set about extending his lead over the rest of the field, the Nissans, the Ferraris, the Supras, and an increasingly large collection of Porsches. The new Castrol Supra was not having the best debut race once it finally started, and it came to blows with the ever-struggling Rain-X Lamborghini. In this case, the Lamborghini came off worst. Back in the pack, Kageyama in the Calsonic Skyline got past Jeff Krosnoff's Supra in spectacular style, then got to work closing the gap to the Jomo Skyline. The newer specification green car had little answer for the older blue car, and Kageyama moved up to second. Soon, the reigning champion was on the tail of the leader, and applying great pressure to Hasemi. Suddenly, Hasemi came out of the final chicane in the lead. The champion had got past the veteran. It was a winning move, and the Hoshino Racing Run Calsonic Skyline took victory. The 5-car GT2 class was won by the European Car Sales R31 Skyline, which flashed its single headlight in celebration. The second race of the year was at Fuji Speedway, and pole sitter Eric Comas in his Toyota Supra made a bad start and was utterly swamped by Porsches, with the Advan branded Team Taisan 911 taking the lead. It was a Porsche 1-2-3 ever so briefly until one of the Supras got up into third. As the third of the Porsches fell back into the pack, the Zexel Skyline made a mistake and slid into the barrier. Soon, and unseen by the TV cameras, Comas was back in front in his Supra, while the Team Taisan Porsche had dropped back and was now being pursued by its Ferrari teammate. In GT2, which Fuji had a 13-car field, the European Car Sales Nissan was putting in a solid performance, unlike Team Taisan's GT1 Ferrari, which parted company with its left rear wheel. There was more bad news for Taisan as one of its Porsches hit the barriers. Then, the number 30 Sugo Security 911 burst into flames, and the Zexel Skyline almost rolled over at the final corner when it hit the barriers. It was enough to bring out the safety car. With 4 cars in the GT1 category, Team Taisan had strength in numbers, and that gave the number 33 Porsche of Matsuda and Ida the lead, and, ultimately, the victory. GT2 was once again won by the old yellow R31 Nissan of the European Car Sales team, though now with 2 working headlights. Moving on to round 3, the championship headed to Sendai Highlands circuit. Eric Comas in the Toyota got the lead at the green light, as the Sugo Security Porsche made a bad start. Hasemi got up to second position, but the Sugo Porsche wanted it back. In GT2, the action started early, with the struggling GT1 Prober Porsche putting the Wacos BMW off its stride, and the RE Super GRX7 took full advantage of the open door. The BMW suffered more unintended GT1 interaction as it made contact with the Supra of Comas, but both cars initially seemed to get away with it. A lap later, though, it became clear that the BMW had not got away with it after all. One of its wheels fell off at the end of the pit straights. Back in GT1, Kageyama was having a great battle with the Castrol Supra of Masanori Sakiya and Michael Crum, with the Toyota getting the upper hand. Elsewhere, the number 35 Taisan Porsche decided to explore the track limits, and lost time with the resulting spin. And that time loss allowed the Castrol Supra to catch up with it, and then get past. The next target for the Castrol car, which utilised the same 2-litre turbocharged engine found in Toyota's World Rally Championship Suzukas, was the race leader Eric Comas in his older Toyota Supra. A brave move from the Castrol car saw the pair touch, and it was that car that recovered first, enough to give it a rather controversial victory. In GT2, the earlier shenanigans with the BMW handed the RX-7 victory. The fourth race of the year was somewhat louder than the previous round, and it was back to Fuji Speedway for a 250km race. Oscar Larori and Tetsuya Ota's Taisan F40 built up a lead before the lights even went green. The Ferrari was trailed by Comas in the Supra, one of the Taisan Porsches, and Hassami's new R33 Nissan Skyline. Soon Hassami was past the Porsche and chasing down Comas, but the presence of Taisan's rather unhappy BMW GT2 car prevented him from passing. Later in the race, Hassami found himself trying to get past Krosnov's Supra, with some success, and despite the attentions of the Taisan Porsche, which had also got past the Toyota, Hassami's next target was the race-leading Ferrari. Porsche, though, was not giving up without a fight, and got past the Nissan into turn 1. A quick stop for fresh rear tyres and Hassami rejoined the race. Soon after, the leading Ferrari and the number 35 Taisan Porsche also visited the pits, with the Porsche staying ahead of the Nissan and the Nissan getting ahead of the Ferrari. With fresh hot tyres, Hassami was back in the battle with the Porsche, which was now for the lead. And the first two were also joined by the Jomo Skyline, which had started the race in 6th. Hassami got past at the first corner, but the freeway fight continued. The Jomo car also got the best of the Porsche, while Hassami edged ahead. Elsewhere, the Sugo Porsche and the similar number 33 Taisan car got a bit too close, and the latter got turned around, almost collecting the GT2 specification Mitsubishi Mirage. The Microlon RX-7, though, he finished the job. Then, perhaps in sympathy with its fallen comrade, the number 35 Porsche took an unforced trip to the gravel track. At the end of the day, Masahiro Hassami took a hard-fought and well-earned victory. It was to be his last win in a JGTC Championship round. The Wacos BMW won the GT2 class after a relatively quiet race, but was happy with the result. Sportsland Sugo played host to the penultimate round, a 300km race run in the pouring rain. Krosnov's Supra led the field away at the start, ahead of the Calsonic Skyline and a Taisan Porsche. Kageyama in the Calsonic car soon got past the American Supra and took the lead. After trying to come back, Krosnov faded, and soon the Porsche of Anthony Reid and Masahiko Kondo was past him and challenging the Nissan for the lead. Kageyama, though, knew how to make his Nissan R33 Skyline as wide as possible and made it very hard for the Porsche to get by. Eventually, though, the Porsche slithered round the outside and set off to try and extend the lead. Team Taisan had acquired its 911s after its Group C Porsche was banned at the end of 1994. Eventually, the number 35 Porsche of Reid and Kondo emerged out of the fog as the winner, and in the GT2 category, the Gatorade Porsche took victory there as well. The championship finale was once again held at the Mine circuit, and would be contested over 250km. Hassami was on pole, alongside the Castrol Supra of Sakia and Krum. Kageyama in the Calsonic Nissan was way back in 9th. Hassami held on to the lead at the start, while the Castrol Supra just about held off the thankfully repainted STP Taisan Porsche. The Porsche soon got up to second position and was pushing to get the lead off Hassami. Slightly behind them, Krosnov wanted to get past the Castrol Supra, but the other Advan Porsche wanted to get past him. chaos broke out further back as Ryo Michigami spun his Porsche and collected another, narrowly missing the Wacos BMW. Then more drama, as the moment for the Rain-X Lamborghini fired the FedEx 300ZX into the front of one of the Ferraris, causing damage to it and a number of other cars. Despite all of the action behind, the battle for the lead continued between Hasemi's Nissan and the STP's Porsche. It was clear that the Porsche was faster, and headed by Krosnov, the rest of the field was closing in too. The Porsche just about managed to get it done, going past the pits and into turn 1. The battle for the lead later developed into a straight fight between the Sugo Security Porsche and the STP Porsche, run by Team Taisan. The Sugo 911 eventually got the move done, surprisingly easily, into turn 1. The driver of the STP car perhaps distracted by his frantic windscreen wiper, but it wasn't to last and the STP car got back in front later on. Further back, Eric Comas in his Toyota was feeling rather ambitious and succeeded not only in spinning his own car, but also the Jun Skyline, the last of the R32s. Comas did get the pass completed eventually, but not as he intended. Then, at the same corner, more trouble for the Frenchman, who tripped up the Jomo Skyline, and again stayed ahead as the Nissan found itself beached. With its windscreen wiper still going at full pelt, the STP Porsche crossed the finish line in first place, and won the final race of the 1995 season, but the big celebrations were reserved for Kageyama, who finished third in the race and clinched the championship, his second in a row. The GT2 title was won by the foreign car store Nissan of Ishibashi and Hoshino. If you've enjoyed watching this season review, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave your comments at the bottom of the page and we'll try to reply to all of them. All that's left to do is collect the flowers and wave to the fans and say thank you very much for watching.